Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
We are back. Oh my gosh. Here we are on this other episode. So much more to give you some behind the scenes stuff in the music industry. Once again, my host, my co-host in this, Rick Webster, man, the original founding member of Platinum Recording Artists Group, R. Kelly and Public Announcement. We are back, man. My brother.
Yes, sir.
You know,
Yes, sir.
we doing this
Good
thing,
to be here,
man.
man. Thank you.
We're doing this thing, and we're giving people some insight on what happens behind the music. You know, people need to know. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's two kinds of people. There's those that need to know, and then there are those that want to know. See, the ones that want to know, that's just for entertainment purposes. You know, it gives you a different spin on what to watch. For those that need to know, it's because they have a stake in it and they want to do something with it. You know, so I say serve. You know, give them help everybody.
You know, here's what brought about this. You know, so I did. You know, a lot of people was asking me, because some people who know my background, and just to reiterate, I mean, I've been doing the DJing and production in the music business for well over 40 years now, and have done it all over.
Let's not forget to say, not just the production and the sound, but production for live events, whether it's corporate, concerts, and definitely studio. So, you know, let's make sure we say that.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Because, you know, birds of a feather, man, that's where we are right here. That's the same thing we both do. And we collaborate many times, you know. I remember there was one that, again, we had many projects that we worked on that we never saw it through. Remember Sex Shooter?
Yeah.
We keep trying to do these remakes and the spin-offs of certain songs, because we're going to talk a little bit today about the feeling of a song. Music is not just a beat, it's a feeling, right? And the last episode we talked about, you know, when we did that thing about respect, you know, and we were talking about how the original version of Respect that Aretha Franklin, God rest her soul, and a powerhouse. She was a powerhouse, but the song was kind of an angry song. What you want? Baby, I got it, you know? So we wanted to have a spin on Respect, a real sexy, confident woman that wasn't demanding respect. She was telling you, look, if you don't respect me, there's somebody else. You know, and this is a conversation, folks, that we actually have when it comes to the music in production, of what the feel is that we're looking for the song. You know? So, you know, when we wanted to do remakes of certain songs, we would say, okay, what's the feel we want to get? You know, you look at people like Neo, right? Neo started off as a writer. You know, John Legend too. They started off writing music for some of the powerhouses that's out there. But what happened at one point? They write a song, and whoever they gave that song to wasn't really capturing the real feel, the real vibe of the song. So then they took over and they said, you know what? This is what I'm looking for when I do the song. And they say, well, okay, well, if you have the vibe and you have the feeling, you do it. Now, these guys were behind the scenes guy. Now, you never know that from Neo, for instance, right? You see Neo on stage, he's dancing, he got the moves almost like, you know, how Michael Jackson used to move on stage, right? The dance moves and everything. But you mentioned a little bit about that when you were coming up. You know, you weren't really wanting to be out in the forefront like that. You were wanted to be more behind the scenes kind of guy.
Correct.
But tell me that feeling once you do get out in front of an audience and they're responding, they're reacting to you.
In the beginning, I was really comfortable being in the back. I didn't want to be in the front. I didn't want the pressure of people looking at me because I for some reason I felt like that in the group, if I'm in the background, they're paying more attention to that person that's in the front, jumping around, doing spins and singing. They're paying much more attention to him or her. So I was really comfortable with that. And my comfort zone was like, even if I missed a step, they wouldn't pay attention to me because they were looking at that person over there. So when it turned around that I was being put in the forefront, because I've been in the background for so long, my comfort was thrown off dramatically. I was uncomfortable. And I was uncomfortable because of the demographics that I knew I had to meet before I could present it to anybody else. When you talk about behind the scenes, people don't think about the different situations that we are put in to give the audience our all. If we're in a place and the stage is, let's just say for numbers sake, 5 feet deep by 10 feet wide, how many people can fit on that stage comfortably? Now, the dance moves that we had to do that were full out, if we had to spread our arms like this, my wingspan is probably about 5 feet or so. If our stage is only 10 feet and there's 4 of us on stage, if we stand hand to hand, numbers wise, that's about 20 feet.
Right.
We got cut that in half. So how do we do it now? If we're standing side by side, do we put 2 in front, 2 in back? Do we stagger them? I was used to dealing with that in the background. When it came to being the lead man, you had to know that. Plus, if I only got 10 for the stage from left to right to work, can I move backwards 3 feet and our stage is only 5 feet deep? Or can I only move back a foot before I get in their way? So all these things have to be thought of. So when I'm reaching out to somebody to express a certain emotion in a song, how do you make that powerful to the person who is 20 feet away from you and they can't touch you? They can barely see you because they're 20 feet away. And that's what a lead singer has to do. That's what a solo artist has to do. That's what a group is supposed to do. See, what I did was in the background, whenever you looked at me, it would be for a split second because now that person is doing something else to make you go, right. And now you're looking forward again. I didn't want the pressure of being that guy. That's what the problem was. Now I really had to put my money where my mouth was and know if I have this stage, I have to work the stage. Because let's just say it's a really, like it's a ballad. There's not a whole bunch of dancing on the ballad. So how do you invoke certain things to get an audience to come to you more if it's a sad song, How do you make them cry? How do you make them say, I would come back tomorrow to hear and or see him do it again the exact same way he did it? How do you do that? And there's an art in that, And that was that pressure that I didn't want. That was that pressure that I couldn't stand because, when you're entertaining, we're hard on each other, From your voice cracking to your clothes looking funny to you slipping. I mean, there's so many things to just poke at and say, this isn't right, or that wasn't good enough for me. And if you're in the background, you don't have that pressure. You're in the front, I'll pass.
Today, in there's organizations and groups that call that accountability. Some people actually seek out an accountability partner that don't go easy on them the same way like you automatically had it in those days, So let me talk a little bit about, I know one of your biggest influences, taking you back a little bit. You have a family member that's been in the music business, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my goddad, Marshall Thompson, original member, founding member of the Shy Lights, yes.
Yeah. So there's a theme of founding members here. Your godfather and you were the original founding member. I mean, you don't ever put those two together, right? And look, I got you blushing now. But but at the end of the day, that's some powerful thing right there. It was in in your surroundings.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, both of my parents were singers, and I didn't realize um, their lineage in singing until I was a lot older. I know he sang in a group, great, sure, whatever. And my mom sang at church. Yeah, can I get some candy? I didn't care. And it wasn't until later, and my sisters had to explain it to me. This is who they're with. This is what they did. And I go with my dad over to another group member of his house, and they would rehearse. They rehearse one song, for a complete year, and do no shows. That was dedication. My goddad, he, as hard as he is on me, I understand why. And I was hard on myself, but I understand why, and I see it in other artists. The kind of perfection that they had being on stage. See, when I talk about evoking things, when I talk about rocking a crowd, when I talk about being able to captivate an audience, I watch people, I study people that can captivate an audience with little to no movement, physically what they wear, how they move, and their vocal ability when they're talking to an audience, as opposed to when they're singing to an audience. I watched all of that and I studied it very carefully. And that's what I knew I had to do when they started talking about, you need to lead a song. And I didn't want to lead a song because I knew that was part of doing it, aside from being afraid of doing it. But I knew how much work it took to put in it. See, being a background dancer, I was prepared for that. I was good. But when you start leading things, that's a whole nother level of commitment that, I can't look to my buddy who's just got through leading a song and he killed it. Now I'm looking at him like, what else do you want me to do? You can't. If they see that, we are hard on people. Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody who's not, they're not very, they're not entertainers. They're not, I've seen people that were okay vocalists, but they still put on a great show. And then I've seen people struggle trying to put on a great show, but they were incredible vocalists, but they didn't have a show. They didn't have a physical appearance that made people go, ooh. And when I say physical, I don't mean like showing cleavage or dress skimpy. I'm talking like they didn't have on clothes that commanded the attention of people, whether it was respect, an understanding of this is what class is, and not the typical, I'm wearing something because everybody else is wearing it. The people that I admire for taking the high road on stuff, it is people like the Shy-Lights, it is Michael Jackson, it is Prince, because they wore stuff that made a statement, and part of it was quirky, part of it was made to, make people go, ooh, ah, Yeah. To this day, was his favorite color, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. It's what he did with it that made me go, wait, what? And when you do things that are uncommon and you do them well and it doesn't hurt anybody, it invokes the attention of someone to make them continue to look at you, to wonder about you. When they see your likeness, when they hear anything about you, that they stop what they're doing and they read or they pay attention. That's the difference between being an entertainer. That's the difference between being an icon. That's the difference between being someone that is looked at and revered in that light. Most artists, I don't care what you do. It can be special to only a certain number of people, but when it's timeless and it's classy, it crosses the globe in unity with every ethnicity. That's what I love about it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I wanted to bring to light a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a whole lot, right? Now, you mentioned about, me being a recording engineer and, live music and all that stuff. But let's go back to being an entertainer and how you've literally tapped in every single aspect of being an entertainer. So let's start, right? And fill in any blanks, right? Fill in anything that's missed out. So, original founding member, you produce music, right? You perform. you do interactive entertainment.
Mhm.
You're a live sound engineer as well, which you produce, and you're event producer, so you actually produce the events for both corporate and live concert type events. You
Mhm.
have your own equipment, which you and I, we happen to have what we call our signature sound.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Our signature sound is
That's
yes,
what
it's
my
just
mentor
that.
calls it. Yes.
Yeah, it's just that you're not gonna find it anywhere else. And you and I are actually talking on some projects that you're gonna be working with me on coming up on some events where we're
Hmm.
gonna package everything, and you're gonna have that consistency in every event. The sound
Hmm.
will sound the same. There will, and the quality of it, because
Hmm.
you and I, that's how we came together, was on quality. But let's continue down the list as if there wasn't any more. So you started off with the breakdancing. You still do that. Um, you're even a what is it? CWP instructor or something like. I mean, like, you literally, they talk about, some people can be a jack of all trades. You literally worked throughout all these years to master every single craft that you've worked on. So tell me, what was your draw to transition from being on tour to working for an entertainment company, doing interactive entertainment? You've done MCing. I met you as an MC, coming in as an MC, and we
Hmm.
worked together. And I didn't know anything about that until we really just started connecting and learning closer and all that stuff. I
Yes, sir.
knew I knew you did some live stuff, but you wanted to transition. So tell me about that transition.
Um, when I was with the group, um, things happened that I was uncomfortable with, and we eventually parted ways. And it wasn't a good parting for me. I got fired. I got let go, and I was done with music. I didn't want to be bothered with entertaining at all. Everything I had learned, all that I knew, all that I had known, I was done. I was ready to. I wasn't ready. I did. I'm done. I quit. And Andrew Griffin, who I mentioned in the other episode, um, he had me come out and do an event with him. He's one of my mentors, a sound engineer, and I came out and I helped him set up an event, sound for a band, and I'm on stage connecting mics doing this because I had been away from it for a while. I was like, you know what? I'm home. I'm bored. I'm not doing anything. Fine, I'll go. So I go with him, and I set up the show, and I'm connecting mics on stage, and I'm doing all these things. And then I came back to the board, and now it's time for sound check.
Sound check.
And I'm sitting there, and the drummer's doing his thing, and Andrew says to me, "Hey, Rick, finish doing the sound check. I need to go and get some batteries." I went, "Okay." Now, mind you, if I had been thinking, I would have said, "How come you don't have batteries already?"
Right?
But he said, "Let me go get batteries," right? So he leaves out of the door, and I'm into this sound check. I'm EQing the bass player, the guitar player, the two keyboard players, the drums. I'm EQing everything for this sound check. Now, when you're done doing all that, they're gonna play a song just to see what it sounds like through the system, right? So now it's my man's system. It's all connected. I'm sitting here now. That 1, 2, 3, and they hit, and now they're playing, right? And I'm turning knobs, making sure the volume is right. And I'm making sure everything is blended well, and I'm really, really having a good time with it. Mind you, I hadn't been out. And when I say out, I didn't go to clubs. I didn't go party. I was just home. I was done with the industry.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a regular job or something that just gave me peace because I had none, right? And I'm into it. And the next thing I know, the entire venue is filled with people. The band get introduced, and they start playing. And I'm just And after like 2 or 3 songs, crowd is there. I realize, where is this man at? Who's supposed to be engineering?
He set you up.
Where's this cat at? I look back, he's at the front door with his arms crossed with a big smile on his face.
Oh shoot.
I was like, all right, I get it. And that was my comeback, you know.
Yeah.
And when I came back, I was just ready to I just wanted to engineer and help other people sound great live, look good. You know, that's all I was prepared to do. I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to get back on stage. I didn't want to get back with a group. I just wanted to help other people pursue and fulfill their dreams. And I was really good with that, you know? And I found myself literally chasing people, trying to get them to do what they want, what they claim they love to do.
Right.
I found myself asking them, hey, you know, I'll put this here and I'll put that there. And I started, I met some people at an event, Rico, Michael Jackson impersonator.
Michael Jackson, yep.
Yeah, I went with him to an event, and I had on all black, you know, because at that point I was starting to get out a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So Andrew did what he did, and then Rico said, hey, I'm doing a show over here. You want to go? I'm like, yeah. So I go with him, and it's at this really big, nice hotel, and he's walking around. Now, I knew that he did Michael Jackson, right? But I'm expecting him to do a performance. He didn't even perform. He just walked around, and someone followed him with a camera, and he took photos with everybody, whoever wanted to say hello to him, and took pictures of him. And I'm like, what is this? He's not doing a show, but he was making money, right?
Cool hustle, right?
Legit hustle, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm sitting here going, how is this possible? He's getting it, you know. He's got the Michael Jackson get up on it. No performing. All he had to do was just, and it was 1 hour. That's all he did. Was walk around for 1 hour, and it was click, click, click. They get pictures right away. Click, 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 and you know, it was a party. It was a private event. We're about to leave, and I see some people that looked like performers. What are you guys doing here? So I'm interested. I walk over. What are you guys doing? Are you guys a group? They were like, nah, we're doing acting and entertainment. I was like, excuse me? I said, you got a business card? 2 of the guys were MCs. The other 2 people were dancers. And I'm like, so you guys are doing like mini concerts? He's like, no, we don't sing. We just, we got a DJ. I'll toss him the mic. He'll toss me the mic, and we'll play with the crowd and yada, yada, yada. And our dancers will do stuff to the song. I was like, let me get a business card. So I get a business card, and I literally go interview with the owner. And that's how I got into interactive entertainment, because I told him who I was, what I had done, and he was like, really? He looked me up and saw me on a video and was like, yeah, you're hired. So I took the job, and I started doing that with them, man. And the guy that who brought me into the bar and bat mitzvah business in the North Shore area, he had one big rule. And it was the MC, the guy on the microphone, had to own all of the music. See, by the time you and I got together as a DJ, you owned all the music, but the MCs never owned the music.
Yeah.
This guy said the MC has to own all of the music. So I'm collecting music, and there's a guy playing it for me. I'm collecting the music, and guys playing for me. And one day I said, what happens if he gets sick and he can't make it? How do you work this stuff?
Yeah. And
that's when I started learning how to DJ. Now, mind you, it didn't cut that guy out. I wouldn't let them not put him on the show with me. He was still my DJ, but I realized that, well, what happens if I want to go do an event on my own?
Yeah.
I can't DJ. I don't have the equipment. So I started getting the equipment. Started building up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my wife at that point was my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I got an idea. And before I knew it, I had everything I needed. Everything. And that's how long ago she and I go back. I mean, she was that person that, she was the one that said to me, as long as you're happy, go to work.
That's what's up.
And whether it was in the studio, whether it was on stage, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, but the phenomenon that, you know, these people were doing these events, and I looked at it as a mini concert, whether it was 300 people they were performing for or 150. I'm like, I've been in front of 20,000 people. This I can do.
Yeah.
And I don't have to get on some tour bus for hours on end. I don't have to fly. I can do it right here in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
Man, please. I was like, yeah, let's I'm back. Let's go.
Yeah. So you transition from that, but then the bug bit you a little bit that you still wanted to get back into. What made you want to try your hand in the studio again and try to record some stuff and even to the point of, you know, working with other people and developing other artists? Now, I know you've worked with some people before. You know, some people have actually approached you because they know, you know, your background and they wanted to work with you. So tell me a little bit about, you know, how that bug came around to bite you to get back into it. Now, I know some of it we did together, but you continued with that.
That's just it. It didn't bite me. I didn't want to come back and be a performer or a singer or any of that. I didn't want to do any of that. I was good with just emceeing, but what happened was I found myself. See, I know people are going to see this, and some of those people that I'm about to say might feel differently, but I grew tired of asking people to let me help them. And I was trying to put other people in the front because I knew what to do from the background. Like, let's just say, for instance, you're a DJ, but I can see that you need work on your blending. I have to tell you how to work on your blending very carefully so you don't get upset and run away. But then how can I tell you to work on your blending if I can't show you what to do that's proper versus improper? So I had to be able to meticulously tell people that. The problem with that is that because I'm meticulous, that was annoying to a lot of the people that I work with. So therefore, when I say, take these two songs, for instance, mix it. Let's just say they did a 35% good job. Out of 100, they did 35%. They were like, all right, what else you want me to do? That's 35%, mix it again. I need you to get that to 100%. I need you to get it where it doesn't sound like da-doom, da-doom, and it sounds like doom, 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 doom. I need it to sound like one song. I need you to mix it forwards and backwards where it's nice, where it mixes well, such as you would hear off the radio stations. Whether it was B96 or GCI or BMX. Man, I need you to be able to do that.
You're bringing me back.
And that's what the problem was. People weren't willing to put in that kind of time and effort. Because again, I'm telling you to mix two songs. They're both instrumentals. I don't care what the song was. Let's just say, and I would be nice and I'd say, okay, well, so you do a lot of R&B and hip hop, right? Yeah, okay. I take two popular R&B hip hop songs, same BPM, mix those two. That's all we're going to do for the entire time. But I'm not telling you that's all we're going to do. I just want to make sure you get it. But if you got it sooner, then we move on to something else. But until you get it, we're staying right there. It was instant gratification that people had. Like, I mixed it. Yeah, but you did a 35% job. You didn't do 100%. I need you to get it to 100. There was no patience there. Now, mind you, if I had someone to mentor me, to give me help, that taught me that way, those people were making me a better DJ, a better engineer, a better vocalist, a better performer, a better percussionist, a better pool player, a better weightlifter. They were making me all these things because they took me step by step. They didn't just say, here's a booklet, take a look, see you in 20 minutes and you're being quizzed on it. They took me by each page. You'd read half a page, you go through the half a page for a day. Then you go to the next half a page and you go through that for a day. So your class with me could take easily 3 months and we're still on the basics. Unless you kill it, and now we can move on and move forward. Because what I didn't want anybody to be able to say to me is that you missed that. You didn't show me that. You didn't tell me that. You didn't put me in that scenario. But I found out the more meticulous I became, the more annoying it was for people, and people would fade off. You know, I had somebody tell me once, "I'm singing, isn't that enough?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ooh.
I said, "Okay," you know, and it just
yeah.
so I never had, I didn't have that love to go and get back into it. Nothing bit me, but I realized that nobody wants to work with me because I'm too meticulous. Nobody wants to be bothered with the same thing day in and day out, and the perfecting of it that I had been given and getting from all my mentors, you, my goddad, a DJ, Xavier Joshua. Nobody wanted to work like you
By
guys.
the way,
You know,
DJ Xavier Joshua, he's going to be on the show with us at some point. So, that's a special treat we got coming up for you guys,
Right.
So,
Right.
you're going to make that stuff happen. But then in addition to all this stuff, the dancing. Like, yeah, you went from breakdancing, and I've seen you break dance, even when I met you. But then you used to be part of a group that did some dancing too, right?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Well, that was a Umatic crew that changed to Rush, that changed to
The Collective.
Public Announcement. Well, the Collective, that was actually, now that was a different kind of dancing. That was actually hip hop oriented dances.
Yeah.
And that was with Trey, aka Lee Black, and Matt. And that was choreographed hip hop performances. And actually, they're still doing that today.
Really?
They're still doing it, yeah. And now the name of the company is called Boom Crack.
Okay.
That's one of the nuances inside the group. And when I say, dude, they're fire, Trey is training and killing it.
Wow.
And Matt is
and
in
there was
and
a time
out.
they would compete in the clubs, right? Or they'd literally go out to the clubs to compete.
Yeah. There were competitions, but now they're actually competing globally.
What?
I want to say last year, before the pandemic came in, they have actually won some national notoriety in a really big way. As a matter of fact, I got to go back and see what it is, what the accolades are. But remind me, and I'll tell you what they are. Because when I say they're major, dude, it's fire.
Man,
it's fire.
So tell me a little bit about Artisans Entertainment Group. Sorry if I butchered the name.
Nah, it's all right. Artisans Entertainment Group. That is that's who I'm powered by now. With all the different entities of the things that I've been blessed to do, I have to I had to bottle it, into an Artisans Entertainment Group, and it powers me to do my interactive motivational speaking. It powers me to do singing, as a vocalist, as a celebrity DJ, as a self-taught percussionist, doing all three of those things simultaneously or individually. It powers my entertainment company that deals with live sound, studio sound, lighting for concerts, clubs, and operating and owning all of the gear. And it is, it really is it's grown into being a powerhouse of some really anointed people. There's a gentleman that is the head and my mentor of my filming division, and his name is Elliot Light. This cat was, and I like putting people on blast because, when they're just beasts at what they do, you gotta say it about it. This gentleman did commercials for McDonald's. Like, let's just say like the 80s, the 90s. Remember when they would have the burger? It was a shot that would zoom in slowly to the and Big Mac, juicy, and it would be dripping. Yeah. He was that guy that was saying, okay, bring in this, bring in that, and the whole room was cold, you know. And they brought in somebody with some butter to put this here. They did all these tricks to make it look amazing. And it was one person dressing it, another person adding this, another person adding that, and then they all step back, and he'd go, thanks guys, click, 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 or film it. He's that guy.
Wow.
He's that guy, corporate guy. He's that guy. He retired. He retired. When I met him, did I talk to him so much? He said, "Okay, Rick, yeah, we can work together. I'll do it." And you know, that shot that you see of me.
Yeah. Yes.
That's him. That's him.
Okay. You guys know the
That's
shot.
him.
This is the shot that's on the flyer. That would be pretty much at the beginning of every show. You know, so
That's him.
wow.
When I say bad, dude, it's him. It's it's Elliot Light, Andrew Griffin, Charles Twilley, another producer. He goes by the name of Quiet as Kept, hip hop producer. Dude,
Wow.
when I say, dude, his stuff is so nice producing. Okay, and he's just doing instrumentals, right? Dude, I've DJ'd for a guy who does yoga. He was into this Sade vibe.
Yep.
I was able to take Quiet as Kept music, blend it in on the fly for this live yoga session I had him mic'd up, and he was doing these different poses and this, that, and the other. He's like, Rick, give me anything you got, and I'm hitting him with that. Mind you, he's supposed to be talking to the audience, and I mean, he's got a room full of people.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm fading out of the Sade into mixing into this other song, and he was like, he's got, give me Downward Dog. Rick, that is nice. Oh my goodness, what is that? Yeah, keep it up with the Downward Dog. Dude, when I say I've got some heavy hitters, I got heavy hitters, man. Like everything that I want to do, it's a very small nucleus of you guys, but everything that I want to do, it is in the same genre, the same bandwidth, the same stadium that any network is doing. That's what these people bring to the table. And Artisans Entertainment it's a full-fledged, full access. I mean, where I'm talking to you now, it's a sound stage.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to bring artists in, have interviews. If you want to film your commercial, if you want to do photos, whatever it is, I just don't see a reason to continue to say these people over here do it and they're the only ones that do it when I've been in the industry and I know what to do. So if it weren't for you guys, you know, pushing and pulling, being anointed and giving me the blessings that you have, I wouldn't be where I am. So I'm like, you know what? Let me use my name for this platform and let us work, because, you know, there are so many people that can reap the benefits of having these professionals take care of them, such as they would if they went downtown in any major city.
All in one spot too.
Yeah.
You know, so what are the likelihood of us getting, you know, some of these heavy hitters within the group, within the entertainment group, being here having that discussion with us at some point? Is that something we can arrange?
Absolutely, but it will be pulling teeth for all of them except one guy, because they're the behind the scenes guys. They that thing that I used to love.
Yeah.
They are that way inertly. You know, they're not. They don't care about being in front of the camera, being behind the camera. Like even the shot that you're seeing right now, that's LA Light's tutelage, man. He told me, you know, make it this way, do this for the interview, do this is this. If you're, you know, if it's two people, if it's just one-on-one, you do this. And I have to say, man, it makes a big difference because, you know, he's giving me the knowledge, but they all really enjoy being in the background, watching the production, making sure that the lights are a certain way, the sound is a certain way, that, you know, all the production is where it needs to be. And it's just, you know, you said earlier that we have a signature sound. I'm going to tell people what that sound is. As a DJ, DJs have a certain sound. We don't have sound that DJs use. We have sound that they use for live bands. We have concert sound.
Yeah. And
that's the key to it, you know? If people walk into a room and it sounds great, they're quicker to have a better time with you than it is if they're annoyed with things that are happening. And that's what I've been blessed to be around is people who know the job so well that they can teach it to you on their worst day. But it seems like they never have a bad day because they're always pleasant. They're always kind. They're always giving. They're always complimenting. They're always complimentary. So those are the people that have brought me back in, and they've welcomed me, and they have done a wonderful job at keeping me sane, keeping me still, and helping me enjoy doing it with you guys.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, we're gonna continue this conversation in our next episode. It's the kind of conversation that we don't want it to end. And guess what? It's not gonna end until we're ready, until we said enough. So, on that note, we'll see you guys at the next episode. Again, what does you told people? Like, subscribe, share, do all the stuff. Let's get the word out. Let's get people talking. Let's get people having conversations, and maybe having people wanting to join us as a guest on here. So,
That's
until
the goal.
the next time.
Yes, sir.
It sound right, boy.